Hey y'all, welcome to my channel. So today I wanted to show you how to make a burlap wreath, but with accent ribbon. And I'm also going to be decorating that wreath for Christmas. So let's get into this wreath and get this done.
So for this project, we're using a 20-inch wire wreath for $3 at Hobby Lobby. And as you can see, I tied the burlap onto the wreath so that it would stay while I was working with it. You can also use a glue gun. So you're going to pull the burlap through each of the 3 sections. And you're going to make sure that they're all about the same size. As you can see, when I was doing it, I did 3 to 4 inches to get the fullness that's in the picture of the wreath. And then you're going to bunch it together and you're going to twist on the bottom to ensure that it stays. And then you're going to push more burlap through the inside and do the same thing all over again. Now, this particular wire wreath had 8 separate sections, and you're going to do 3 rows of this in each section to get the fullness that I got with the picture. Now when you run out of burlap and you need to start a new strand, you can either tie it to the old one or you can tie it to the rack. Either is fine. And please ignore that there is twine on this burlap that I'm using. I had to steal it from the Christmas tree because I ran out right in the middle of the project. I will have a list of supplies in the description, but this particular wreath took me 45 feet of burlap and 30 feet of accent ribbon to put into the wreath and also to make the bow for the front. So you're going to tie the accent ribbon to the wire just like you did with the burlap or the hot glue or whatever you feel most comfortable doing. Tying seems to work just fine. And then you're going to push the accent ribbon through the wire just like you did with the burlap. And then you're going to push the burlap back around the accent ribbon. And so you're going to keep finding spots within the burlap to push aside and then push the accent ribbon through until you have the fullness and the separation that you would like. There are videos that show that you can include the accent ribbon while actually making the burlap, but I am hoping to be able to remove the accent ribbon when it's no longer Christmas, and I think this is a good way to go about doing that. So we are now going to make the bow for the front. I will leave a link below for a better tutorial. This was very difficult to film, especially with my equipment, so I will show you, but if you can't figure it out from what I'm doing, then I would check out that link. It's actually not that hard. So as you can see, I'm just doing a loop around about 4 times, and I'm doing it the size of the full width of the bow. And I left a little bit hanging down on the end. That's going to be for the ends of the ribbon. So once I have it all looped together, I'm going to take the long end and I'm going to leave a whole bunch of it and I'm going to cut it. And then I'm going to wrap it all the way around the loops that I made. And then I'm going to wrap it around one more time to make sure. And then you're going to push it through the center of your loops and then up through the top at a diagonal angle. Right, and then you just pull it tight, and as you're pulling it tight, you want to make sure that you are ending up on the center of those loops. We are now going to attach the bow to the wreath. So I had a little bit of ribbon left over, so I'm going to use that. But you could also use a twist tie or a zip tie if that's what you have. But you're going to want to attach the ribbon up higher because it's a little bit heavy, so it will sag down a little bit. So what I'm doing is I'm just doing a double knot using the leftover ribbon. I'm going to cut off the ends of the leftover ribbon, and then I'm just going to twist it around so that the knot is not showing. And now I'm just going to fluff the bow up and make sure it looks the way I like it. So now we get to do the fun part. I purchased the greenery from Hobby Lobby for, I believe, $2. And I'm just going to push it through the back of the bow. You can also zip tie it if it's not really staying very well, or you could use twist ties again. And I'm just playing with it to make sure it looks exactly the way I want it to look. For the centerpiece of the wreath, I am using an ornament that I purchased from Hobby Lobby, but you could also use a sign, one of those cursive signs that's cut out, or just whatever you guys want. Just go wander around Hobby Lobby or Michael's and find something that you think will look cute. So now I'm adding in some garland. This garland is from the dollar store, and I'm just cutting it into pieces and strategically putting it throughout the wreath just to add a little bit more color and a little bit more depth, so it's not so heavy on the bottom of the wreath.
Alright y'all, so after adding the basics to my wreath, I went ahead and hung it up on the door, and I started adding in little bits of details and fluffing certain places. So I'll go ahead and show you what I did. And this is the fun part. This is the part where you just gotta find stuff around the house or run through Hobby Lobby and look at all the stuff and find exactly what you want to make your wreath yours. Alright y'all, so we'll start up here. These were from the dollar store, and they just added a little bit of color to the wreath. This was from Hobby Lobby, and it's actually an ornament, so when you actually step back, it looks cute, and you can't see the hook. These are from Hobby Lobby as well, and they were only $2.50. And if you were doing a spring wreath, what I would do is I would change this to maybe a blue bow with white polka dots, and I would make these like spring flowers. And so I added one on either side because you want balance on your wreath. You don't want it to be too heavy in one spot. And then I also added these because we already had them on our door. I just hooked those around the bow. Alright y'all, so I hope you found this video to be helpful and you enjoyed yourself, and I hope you get to make an awesome wreath like this one. This one cost me, I think, around $40. I mean, I already had some of the burlap and I already had the wire frame. But I think if I went to the store and bought everything that I needed, it probably would have been around $40. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please subscribe. I put stuff out all the time, and I'm doing Vlogmas, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. Bye!